Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Chris with another video for you guys today. Today I'm doing a reinstallation of the brake booster. This guy right here on a 2011 Mazda CX-9 Touring, all-wheel drive. It does matter depending on the Touring. It can be a Grand Touring, all those other things, but make sure it's a Touring. This is what we're on today. Anyway, let's get to it. We're getting ready to put the brake booster back, so I figured I'd do a reinstallation video. So let's get to it. So the new brake booster comes with all new bolts and everything, so inside and outside, which is great because I had one that failed, so I'm doing this job twice. So I figured I'd do a reinstallation since I already done the first removal video, which you can see on my channel as well. So let's get all these bolts out. They're all accounted for. All right, so brake booster, it's going to go back in this way. This is going to be facing up at the top. Okay, let's get these guys off too, and let's get to it. And I should have enough light. All right, so we're going way in the back in there. Back over in there. Let's get a nice spot for the light. Hopefully that's cool. All right, so let's put her on in against the wall. All right. I got this rag here for when I would have to remove the brake lines. All right, so let's twist and move them a little bit. And you want to make sure you line it up pretty good with your holes. And let's go in. And just kind of feel for your holes in the back. That's what I'm doing. And you'll feel it slide in like that. All right. So we got her in. All right, now it's time to move to the inside before we install the master cylinder. So let's do that. All right, so we back. Got a brake booster through. We got those brake booster bolts up there we need to put in. So let's get those in. You will be seeing this camera move is here and there. So I'm gonna get the best angle that I can. So let's get these bolts started at least. Let's go this side then. It's a little tedious. And just kind of spin them and start them. If you feel it binding, back up. All right, so we got one. Let's spin him up. Let's secure that a little better. Let's go to the top right. And it's going to be a very tedious spot to move around and maneuver in. But we're going to get it. So I'm going to block the camera a little bit, but all good. Okay, that's two on there. And I definitely will remove the plug right here just for better access. You can get your hand in there a little better. If I can quit pinching my glove. There we go. Well, we had one fall. It happens. So you see where I'm at. I'm gonna put those back in and then be right back. All right, so we back. We got all four screws in, and I'm about to proceed to tightening them up. And you have this peg right here that you have removed already if you're watching this reinstallation video, that you're gonna line up with your pedal. And you also have this clip right here. Looks like this. That's gonna go back in as well. So let's put it back in, and I'll tighten those up here in a second. All right, so we got our brake pedal here. Okay, that's right there. So you're gonna go up on your side over here, up here at the top, over here, and you're gonna put your pin in and just kind of work it till it goes through, and you'll feel it when it slides through. Let's see where we are. You might have to line up your piston a little bit. Make sure. Trying to feel for the hole behind here. I think I found her there. Yeah, let's wiggle her till we get her to slide in. Alright, so getting her there. See, I got to slide through one. There we go. Let's see. Get this camera back positioned. Alright, so we're here. Slide it over through there at the top like that. Hopefully you can see that. If not, here we go. Got it to slide through. Up here at the top. Once I got that to slide through, grab your pin and pop your pin back in. So let me pop the pin back in so I can move my camera out the way, and we'll be going back to the front. All right, so after you get your bolts tight, don't forget to connect back your gas pedal sensor. Got that back. All right, let's go to the front. All right, so we back up top. All right, our next mission will be to put in this guy. All right, master cylinder, let's get you in there. So yeah, this is your master cylinder, this guy. So line it up, kind of wiggle it a little bit till you get on there. Might have to do a twist a little bit. Let's see. And on the piston. There we go. Slide her all the way back. All right. So now we got our master cylinder all the way back up in there. Let's zoom this a little bit. Master cylinder's in. Let's go back up a little bit. All right, got that in. Got 2 13s for that. One here. Let me wipe it off because it's kind of greasy from the brake fluid. That yellow grommet, you're gonna want to remove that before you put your check valve / aspirator. That's what they call this on this vehicle. So yeah, let's get these on here. And that's why I got this green rag for this fluid that's gonna drip. Okay, you're only gonna be able to hand tighten these for so far. And this is the type of nut. They look way different from the rest of them. So this is that nut. It's got a bevel on the outside. Okay. Let's go back in on the bottom. And be careful not to drop it. And there we go. We got it started. And that guy is a 13. Let's get that 13 on up in there. Got our 13. Use our good old impact frame. And I'll put it on level 1 just to slow roll it up in there. Hopefully I can use this. And it looks like I can. Alright, we're gonna stop there. Come down here to get this guy. Alright, so I'm just getting it tight up on there because I can't feel it with the impact. So now we're going to switch to our ratchet. And so we'll make sure she's tight. Let's go back and forth to make sure we're not tightening one more than the other. And you just want it tight and then a quarter turn. Alright, that should do it on that, nice and sturdy. Alright, so now we're going to get these coolant lines back in their spot. And let me move the camera so you guys can see that. They're way back up in there. Okay, so we got those coolant lines. Let's tilt this way back up in there. So we got this coolant oil in here. We're gonna go ahead and slide it back on the bracket on the two 10 millimeters. And let's get those on there. I'm short, so I gotta get on my stool again. Let's get some light up in there. And get my 10 millimeter together. And let's get an extension to help assist. I'm go with the real long extension. And I'm gonna just hold it like this with my fingertip to guide it back there. Go with the top one first. If you feel the binding, just back up, but you should be able to just hand tighten it all the way back. Okay. Right back up in there. This might be an 11. Oh, it's not 11. Still have my screw on there, good. Some spin. Now we can hand tighten it. There we go. We got one here. Just hand tighten as much as we can. Lock it in its place. And then we got one down here, right here. Same thing, a 10. Let's guide her in. Finger guide. But yeah, I had to remove the intake. I was struggling, and it's way easier to remove the intake than to struggle. I'm trying to get this guy to go back in. Let's see if my screw started. Right, it's not started. Let's get him on. Alright, but yeah, I had to remove the intake. When I did that, a lot better accessibility. Okay, so we got that started. It's not really that hard. I originally removed the throttle body on my original removal video and didn't need to. I just removed the whole intake with the throttle body attached. Alright, so we got that hand tight. Just gonna use my stubby and tighten her up. Doesn't have to be real tight, just tight enough. And that's good. All right, got those in. Now it's time to install our line for our vacuum to the brake booster. Okay, so we got our line here. And this guy goes in kind of weird. All right, so it goes in this way. Okay. Probably should have maneuvered this first, but I think I'm good. Let's go back here. Adjust this camera. Hopefully that's good. And we're gonna move this light over here since we see over there. Get our line to go back in all the way. There. Let's move a different route. Sometimes you forget how you pull stuff, little stuff like this. It looks like I'm getting there. Back up in there. Let's go around these lines here. There we go. We need to get it to twist. And get it on there. Grab some cylinder holes. That one over. Alright. Good guy. And I'm blocking myself a little bit. And we're almost there. Alright. Let me pull this guy back out. I think I got it kind of sideways. Yep, I do. Spin it this way. I should have kept those loose. Might loosen those brackets. Just remove it and put it back in. Right. Got a little struggle, so let's remove it, put it back in. Right. Make sure we don't hurt anything. So it's supposed to sit like this. So let me reroute it and try it again. Yep, there we go. Just do that right there. Slide it straight back. There. This goes up under here, and that goes against the firewall. Right there. There, yep. Let's get it back over. There we go. And then start wiggling stuff. This sits there. So since I'm struggling, let me remove those lines so I can get it back in, even though I put them in. So let me remove those two bolts over here. That didn't feel good on the funny bone. I'm trying to see if I even should. I think I'm just twisting it wrong. Again. Okay, so I'm going in there wrong. Okay, so this goes underneath. So underneath this way. Like this. There we go. That's why I'm struggling so much. Supposed to go underneath. Okay. Alright, so underneath we go. And you got a screw up under there as well. I was wondering why I was having some struggles. So these guys in the back are 13s. This one's a 12. And let's verify that. And I'm about to change gloves. And yes, it is a 12. 12 milli. Yeah, these gloves has been through the ringer. There's been a lot of brake parts cleaner and fluid. Just give her a sit on there. And you want it to spin freely. If you feel it binding, back up so you don't damage anything. Alright, so we got that in there. We're gonna move this up here. We got another bolt. It's a 10 millimeter that goes underneath to hold this up against the master cylinder. Hopefully you're able to see that on the camera. Let's zoom a little more. Okay, so let's get that 12 locked in. I'm gonna use a flex head. Lock that one in the back, make it a little more accessible. Tighten it some more. There we go. All right. Got that hand tight. Let's tighten it all the way down. There's 12 right here. Help assist. So yeah, this side is a double bolt. So once you slide your bracket on there, it's a 12 on top of that. We're gonna bend this up here. Actually, let me loosen that one up a little bit so I can get this 10 in there, just so we can have some wiggle room. There we go. Should fit just nice. And you got a 10 millimeter. It's gonna look like this. Slide up in there. Little bitty guy up at the bottom, underneath the bottom. Alright, so I got him in. So let's tighten this one first with a 10 millimeter. Yep, this will be my third time doing this on this specific vehicle because we had two bad ones. Two bad remans. And this is another reman, but we gotta do what we gotta do, and if this one fails, we'll just go get a refund and get a new one. Alright. Alright, after you got that tighten, let me move this out the way for a minute and get a little closer. Alright, see where that rubber grommet is? That's where your aspirator is. It is where your aspirator is located. This is what it looks like. Okay, it's your aspirator. One side's bigger than the other side. You can't mix them up on your hoses, and this goes straight into the wall there. So I recommend you change this just because you're doing this job, because if this goes bad, it's a $40 part versus you having to take all this out and do it again just for a $40 part, and you don't have any headaches. So yeah. So let me zoom this back out. Let me get in there. Pull it out a little bit. There we go. All right, let me get in there and pull that guy out. And pop him in. And I'm about to change gloves because these are soiled from brake grease. All right, so we got that out. We'll save this for another use like I did for the master cylinder. And change these gloves real fast. Okay, so we got that there. Everything's back on that area over there. Let's pop our aspirator back in. It should be called the check valve on most vehicles. And let's push it until you feel it. Lock in. Keep wiggling, keep wiggling. And take you a light, just check, make sure it has no gaps, and just make sure it's flush up against it. And this one's flush. All right, take this bracket here. All right, find our hose to that guy, which is connected to our intake. So we'll deal with that in a minute. Now that we got all that tightened back up, let's start connecting our lines. There's a line down here. Just wiggle around. You can see your guys around lane. One. There she is. Okay. Got this guy here. Let's pop this back on. You feel it's click. Then snap that in, give it a tug, make sure it's good. Start checking hoses and everything. All right, everything looks great on this side. And it's time for the intake to go back in. Well, yeah, so I can put this on there. So let's grab our intake. The video showed me removing the throttle body, but after doing this job, it didn't have to. So let me grab some more gloves. My hands are starting to dry out now because they were wet, but yeah, give me a second. All right, so we back. All right, figured I'd do this at the same time. Intake gaskets look good. So we got our intake. Okay, so I'm just gonna work her around in there, and I put this towel over there to make sure I didn't drop any debris down in there. And let's just work her. Just take your time. Be gentle. Still crawl by the spot. Just be careful. Got it out so smooth. Throttle body this side a little bit. There we go. Watch out for our connector over here. Swivel it out the way. And then just start positioning it. Little wider spot there. It was a lot easier coming out. Alright, so let's move some of this stuff this way. Alright. Wiggle move. Check everything, make sure there's nothing's in the way, and start positioning this guy. There we go. Okay, a little tedious on the back and forth, but we got her to go back in. Long bolt goes at the top up here. Just kind of wiggle and feel for it to start spinning. Kind of pull up on them, just feel them. These are 8 millimeters. Okay, so we got that in. Let's bring this over here a little better for you guys. So you can see these bolts go in. And I always hand tighten first. But I removed the throttle body in the beginning. So I figured I don't have to get to those, so yeah. So you have 6 of these, 2, 4, 5, and 6. I said 5 on my tip for the day video skit, but meant 6. Right. Alright, so we got those in. Those are 8 millimeters. We'll switch to our 8. And where's my ratchet friend? Well, we'll use this guy. Switch to our 8. Level 1. And I will hand tighten these only. Just getting them to go down faster. And you definitely don't want to crack your intake. Make sure everything's lined up. Okay. Alright, now it's time for the cross pattern hand tightening. And I usually use a stubby. And I think that's what I'm going to use. I keep moving everything around. But yeah, I'm going to use a stubby to get these tight so we don't over tighten them. Start here, come over here, tight, come back over here, and work your way around. Okay, up top over here, I think I already got him. Nope, not quite. And you're gonna double, triple check, okay? So you got some around that's gonna be loose. The more you tighten it down, and just kind of work around till you feel them all stop good. Just work your way around. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Not too tight, but nice and tight. Okay, you got one more bolt. This should be one of these guys. Goes onto the throttle body. Hold it in its place. It's a little bracket for the throttle body over there. Smooth this down some. Right up under here. It's a little bracket that your spoke goes in. And mount your throttle body intake area spot. Just hand tighten it because it's letting me. Alright, so we got that. Let's build our extension again. Just to give me a little better of a reach. Okay. And that's it. Okay, we got that. All right. Now that we got that, let's go back over here where our check valve is. And let's move this hose from the intake. Goes up and over. Up and over. This side. Right there. That's where we want that guy. And we're going to connect it back right here. Okay. Grab our pliers. Move those guys again too. They're moving so much. Well, let's get some more pliers. They'll turn up in a minute when I need them. Yep, see? There you go. In my face. Alright. Make sure you got a good grip on it. Slide it down, put it back in, try to put it back in the same spot it was in. Just like that. Okay, we got everything connected. Right, so you got your throttle body cord right here, connector. We got this one. Let's go ahead and snap those in. 1 and 2. This here, you're gonna have to push it, make sure it's on there good, like that. And snap it. Okay, now we can fold this guy back up here and put those bolts back in. Let's get this one in first. So, got things right. There we go. Yeah, if your bolts aren't going in right, always back up. Right. And these are 10 millimeters as well. Okay. Got our 10 again. Connect it back and tighten it good. 1, 2. Okay, got those in. All right, next mission now. Put the brake lines back in. Okay. So check everything. Make sure you're good. All your connections are good. And let's go. Brake line number 1. All right, so this one here is the one that goes in the back. It's S style. There's the brake fluid. It's okay. This one goes back here like this. So remove this guy out the way. And these are 14 millimeters. Back in. And just position it at first, just to get it to set still. Maybe a couple of threads if they'll go. Start it. Yay, getting a nice little spin. Hopefully we can do it mostly by hand. It's brake lines down there in the brake booster. It's letting me hand tighten it, so we got it hand tighten to start it. And it's still giving me some spin, so that's good. Alright, so I think that's as tight as we can get it. Let's hit this guy on there. Make sure it spins freely. If you feel the binding, just back up. And I feel I got some threads, so I'm gonna proceed. Let's see. Let's grab our 14. And I'll use a line wrench here in a bit. I just want to see if my threads are good. Yep. Everything's going smooth. So let's continue. Yep, going smooth. Hand tightening right now. Alright, so let me tighten that one all the way in, and I'll be right back with the next one. Alright, so we're back. Time for the front. This one goes in here. See if I can get her in position. There we go. And let's move this out the way. Alright, so let's get this in position. A few threads at the bottom. Looks like it's going already. When you're removing these at the beginning, you might have to put some PV Blaster or some WD on there. Get these to start when you first removing these lines. I got a few threads. Alright. Get a couple up here. Alright. Let's go back down in here. And tighten as much as I can. Get it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use it's a 14. I'm just going to use my 15 since it's loose, just to work it in. And when I get up to close to tight, then I'm going to go back to my 14 because this is a tedious spot. And it's just 1 millimeter just to help spin it. Works out a little better. I'm using a stubby as well. Anything to help the job a little faster. Just flip it. Okay. Might be able to spin it some more by hand. Yep, there we go. Alright. Let's give it some more assist. Just to see, and when you feel it while you're assisting it, it stops. Switch back to your 14. See if I can hand tighten some more. Yep. Back at it. Getting close to that point to where it should be getting ready to stop. Judging from the other side. And this is working out. Alright, so I'm going to tighten those down and I'll be right back for the next step. Alright, so after you finish up tightening up your lines, just kind of scan around. Make sure you have nothing loose. Definitely check your brake lines. Make sure they're nice and tight before you button all this back up. And all our hoses, our air hoses, anything to do with breathing, definitely want to make sure, okay? And let's start flipping stuff back. Okay, so we got our wire here for our master cylinder. It just pops on right here like this. Flip this guy over this way. That connects here. And let's put our master cylinder clip back on. There we go. Got that guy out the way. Let's go ahead and snap this one in too. Anything that you need to connect, go ahead and start connecting it before we start buttoning everything back up. Okay, so all that looks good. Let's flip this back over. Wire harness, true computer goes in this here. Sometimes they break and don't stay like this one, so I'm gonna use a zip tie. So let's get those back in. Slide this way a little bit. Right. Okay, so these are not modular. You can't mix these up as far as your computer wires. Let's get this guy in down here. Put this guy up here. Push them in. And then lock them. This is rock cord. I hold them in place. Just check everything there. Looks good. Let's lock this in its place. Put this around like this underneath. Lock it in here. I'm just going to use a zip tie to hold it in this place. Just to keep it secure. And let's see if we got a good spot for it. There we go. Down. Alright, zip her up. And let's clip that off. Alright, so we got that clipped off. Right, now it's time for our trays to go back in. But before we put our tray in, we got a bracket there. Let's get a new light, new battery. Got our new battery pack. We'll plug that guy up in a minute. Alright, let's get our bracket back on. It's gonna sit like this. And I do believe those are our 14s. That's verification, verify. And yes, they are the 14s. Let's get down in. In. All right, still scan around, take a peek, move this guy out the way. All right, move this guy out the way, and let's go to the next step. Battery tray. And these blankets do come in handy sometimes for cushioning. All right, so you got your battery tray. Go ahead and put it back in position. And this is gonna, this wire harness is gonna sit on the battery tray from the bottom. See if I get it in there. Got the wire harness in, and you got a nut for that. Goes right on top. That guy. You should be able to just hand tighten it. Okay, So you'll have 3 bolts, one here, one here, one here. This one's missing one, wouldn't come out, so I had to make it come out, but it's not gonna hurt anything as long as you got at least 2 of these guys in there. Because the battery's gonna balance it anyway. And these bolts look like this. And just kind of feel around. And all these are 10 millimeters, okay? This one's kind of sideways on me a little bit. It still is. Just back it up and fix it. Still trying to go in sideways on me. There we go. There we go. Now let's hand tighten. Just to make sure with the hand tightening, you don't want to strip it out. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so both of those are good. Let's go ahead and tighten them all the way down. Looking for my impact guide, but oh well. Almost to the tight. Let's get this one tight first. All these guys tight. All right, got those in. Got one more 10 millimeter up here. Let's get a little closer here. Let's get a little tilt right here. Flip this guy back up this way and work her in just like that. And you have a 10 millimeter for that. And that's for your wire harness bracket. Just want it tight, don't have to be super tight. Check again, make sure everything's good. And we're looking good. Okay, so now it's time for the breather box. We'll move this out the way now. Thank you, Mr. Cushion Towel. Let's move this over here. Might have been a better angle on the other side. Not quite sure. Let's see what we can get. That way everybody get the best view possible. So that's where we're going right here now. Those 2 rubber grommets with our breather box tray. Scan around as best as possible. I think that's a pretty good view, angle, maybe not. Hopefully, yes. All right. We got this guy here to go back in. He's ready now. Right. Center in. And just work her into the spots, and you'll feel the rubber grommets just like that. And just kind of rock it back and forth a little bit, okay? And you'll feel it lock in place with the rubber grommets, okay? Now, we can go ahead and put these screws in. Lost one, so I had to get one, make a washer for it, but this guy goes right here. Alright, got him going. Let me find my ratchet so I can quit playing around. And like I was saying before, all these guys are 10s as well. Okay, did I go right way? Nope, had it going the wrong way. Alright, so that's tight enough. Got a 10 here and a 10 here. And a lot easier putting it back. And we only have things left. We have our connections snapped in. Got one there. Just make this wrench, this bolt, because I needed to use a washer. Let's wiggle and line it up. There we go. And tighten it. See if it's going. Make sure it's going. All these 10 millimeters. Okay. All right. Locked in, locked in. Okay. Now it's time for our air filter. I had to hide that inside, not to get it dirty. There we go. And I guess I'll go ahead and put that in. It's not gonna hurt. I was looking at the battery tray if I should put it in first, but let's put the intake in first. Let's get this guy in first. Sleeves. We got 3 sleeves over here, and let's move the light. Start working things in. All right, we almost there. There we go. Got that in. Get the breather tube back in. Let's back it up a little bit. Thought it was just gonna slide up for me. Let's see if we can get it on there now. All the way up on there. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and snap these back in down here. Two. Let's tighten her on down up in there. All right. Let's check it. And it's on there good. Alright, last step for this piece right here. Be our mass airflow connector. Got a little slide piece right here. Slide it back in. Connect this guy. And make sure you push your red tab in. Like that. And we got one more tube to go. That'll be this guy. And it connects here. If I can point the camera, this guy right here. Let's just do it. Instead of pointing. Alright, so he connects here and up under your breather over here. So just snaps in. And same thing under here. Just snaps in. I show that in detail on the other video. And that's everything that needs to be closed in. So now let's put our battery in and get ready to start this bad boy. Let's get the battery. And let's do another scan, make sure we're good everywhere, tighten the button in. See, let us scan. Right here needs to go in. And let's get her to go in there. want to make sure it sits in there good. Okay, now I think that's it. Should be. If something's not hooked up right, you will get a check engine light. Alright, got this big old heavy dude. Let's get him in there. Okay, negative, positive. Negative on first. Alright, negative. Positive, and these are 10 millimeters as well. And then we're going to start the car, and that should be it on the installation. So we'll bring you guys inside for that. Well, I will. I always say we because I figure we're doing it together if you're watching the video. And you want to make sure your terminals are good and tight and don't spin at all. Alright, make sure there's nothing on the engine that can be in the way to fall in there and damage anything. And now let's proceed to start the car. So yeah, that's the procedure. So let's make sure we don't have a check engine light before we go. And then I'll proceed to bleeding the brakes later, but this would be my third attempt to do this. Hopefully this is a good brake booster. And let me turn this light off. There we go. Let's start this guy, see if we got any check engine lights. Try one more time. Okay, we got a vacuum hose or something in the way, or not in the way. So give me a second, be right back. Okay, we was having an issue starting because I had to look around the scan, so I always do that. It's a breather tube right here, and if you don't hook that guy up behind your intake, you will stall out. So let's go back in and start it. Not too bad of a job, but 3 times no. So let's scan, make sure we don't have no check engine lights again. Sounds much better. And let's let it sit there for a minute. No check engine light, just the door light and the seatbelt light. So this is how you do the reinstallation 2011 Mazda CX-9 brake booster. Thanks for watching. To the next video, like and subscribe. I'm out.